Let me ask you a question. Would you support a law that mandated that all factories and businesses and shopping centers and things like that be closed one day a week to reduce greenhouse gases around the world?
I think I would have to know more of the details of it, but that certainly sounds like a good idea to me. I'm in favor of reducing climate change. So,
would you feel comfortable that it would be that a law would be put in place, making it the law of the land, that this was mandatory?
Would I feel comfortable? I guess, yeah. If it's going to help the climate change, then yeah, of course I'd be open.
Yeah, I think that some monetary penalty might be useful to enforce that.
So if the Pope pushed for a one day of the week, Sunday, to have a mandatory closure, would you be in support of that?
On a Sunday? Sure, most businesses are closed anyway on a Sunday, so that would be the natural day that you would target if you were going to go down that path.
Now, if the thought was put out there that one day a week would be selected to let the land rest or let the environment rest, which is in the Pope's encyclical, what day of the week do you think that would be?
I would hope for Sunday.
If you were going to pick a day when everything would have to be closed to lower greenhouse emissions, what day would it be?
Sunday.
A one day a week of rest for the environment, what day do you think would be chosen?
Well, I think the natural choice would probably be Sunday.
So, the papacy delivers the encyclical to our Senate. And so now our government is being briefed on a law that is soon to come, possibly.
And when the Pope comes, he's not trying to force his encyclical in his speech to the Senate or the American people. All that is being made in backroom deals, just like everything else that's done up there.
And the people that you're interviewing, they are very in support of this because they see that this is something that the Pope is championing the environment, and they see this as something wonderful for the environment.
Most of those that have a say support it, and here's why. In Congress, you have two parties. We have basically a two-party system: Republicans and Democrats. And the Democrat Party is supported in a large way by labor unions. And the Republican Party, in a large way, is supported by evangelical Christians. And so here's what you have. Labor unions support a Sunday law because they want the union workers to be able to have more time off. So it's advantageous for union employees to have a Sunday law. Evangelical Christians support a Sunday law because they believe that the nation is going down the tubes because people aren't going to church. Catholics support a Sunday law because it's an idea that initiated with the Pope. And finally, environmentalists that want to see greenhouse gases and the environment healed would support a Sunday law because it would lower greenhouse gases. So you see these four groups here, which are the movers and shakers that are lobbying Congress on all these different things, and they all support a Sunday law.
Previous popes have spoken out about the environment, but none made it such a priority. Pope Francis is essentially moving doing your part for the environment into the realm of obligation. But will that translate into action?
Now! What do we want? Climate action! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Climate action! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Climate action! ¡No nos mires! ¡Únete! ¡No nos mires! ¡Únete! أعظم.
When do we want it? Now! Do something drastic! We'll never be divided. The people united will never be.
Because we refuse to stand by while inaction on the climate.
Est-ce qu'on assimilera toujours dans 10, 20 ou 30 ans l'action?
This is the defining issue of our time.
That's why I'm for climate action.
I am for climate action.
I'm 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 for climate action. Are you?
But today, here at the Vatican, the two began with a friendly handshake. The Pope gave the President a copy of his encyclical, where he makes a passionate case to fight climate change.
I'll be reading them.
At meetings today, the Vatican urged the President not to drop out of the Paris Accord on climate change. And the President promised to consider the Pope's request. And right before he left the Vatican, a sign the President may have been moved by what he heard.
It seems clear to me also that climate change is a problem we can no longer be left to a future generation.
We are told the Sunday law will be enforced under many guises. But here's one: to combat climate change. And we are told we will know when the mark of the beast is near, when we see church and state are uniting. When church and state unite, just as in the old world of Europe, etc. When church and state unite, and the church dictates to the state, and the state becomes the church in essence, a Sunday law is near, and we are nearing that crisis. In Great Controversy, page 590, we are told, my friends, we are told, a Sunday law will come to combat calamities. Are calamities becoming more frequent? Are they becoming more disastrous? I won't spend much time there. Look at this. The Pope of Rome says what? To combat climate change, to care for nature and the poor, Sunday must be observed. That's your last sentence especially. Sunday must be observed. Your last sentence, nature, last 4 words, and the poor, Sunday must be observed.